hit it fast. Unbelievable. Almost anybody would go back in a time machine with all the knowledge they have now and smarten themselves up and have a completely different career or life or whatever. And one of the things that I get to do continually over my 44 years of teaching is I get to work with young players who have a little talent or a lot of talent, and I get to sort of like fix things that I would have fixed on myself because now I know a lot more, right? Well, at least you think you do. Well, this little guy right here, not so little anymore, Jude, right, playing for Loyola of New Orleans, and we've been working for 6 years. So we're gonna give you a little insight into the type of lesson really good players who don't need a new grip and know how to hit the ball get, because there's a lot of golf lessons like that. When you're teaching players from Jude's level all the way up to McIlroy, it's the smallest little things that might make a difference. Nobody has a black box to tell you what those things are, and you kind of have to experiment. I think it's going to be fun for y'all to watch. So what's the latest here with this game of yours?
Off the tee, it's been like a block right, and then the biggest thing.
Do some of them?
Some of them come back, but
I mean, like, no, but any of them are quick hooks?
No.
So block rights, or
if it turns over, it's a good shot.
If it turns over, it's a good shot. Okay,
and then really, like, in competition specifically, like, the transition always just feels different. Like, it's hard to settle in.
Right, sure. And then what about like 8 irons and 7 irons?
Those have been
better?
Solid. A little high.
Yeah.
Yeah, little moon ball. We're running out of screen.
We have to go 121. Yeah. I mean, like, if it went 170 and went 121, would be good.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's see what we got here. So just looking at that, like yourself, like what jumps off the page? Because obviously it's in a good position.
Like, my posture kind of looks a little too tall.
And those arms right there, they're straight, right? They are really like overextended straight.
Okay.
I mean, if I draw a straight line here from this shoulder to this wrist, that's about as straight as you can get an arm. So just think about it. If you looked at this and said, okay, if this arm were a little bent, the club would be, I don't know, 15 degrees more around the clock, because I think it's short.
Like, in the last couple of weeks, I was getting like really laid off and over. So that's, I think I'm like a little overcorrection.
Laid off and over.
Like the last video I sent, like.
Either laid off or over. Oh, no, you did over.
Over swing.
Just over, long, and over. Okay,
Yeah,
so long and over. I just think we got to figure out a way to get the arm softer. So if you just said, okay, I'm going to pose, halfway back with a definite feel. So just a couple like 60-yard wedge shot backswings with soft arms. Okay, now you do that and I'll do the body. Okay, because I think it's a little that way, right? Just a little this way. Okay. Straight arms, right? Straight arms and left lean, right? Mm-hmm. So let's just say a little more around and softer. And I like the fact your coconut's not moving when you do the left lean, but a little sharper turn, softer arms. And then you could feel the same thing you were doing to not lay it, to not cross. Part of it's this, right? Look, so if I was hold my hand like this. If I just changed, right? If I had my hand and the club in the same spot, and I'm leaning left, my arm's that long, right? So just turn it a little bit more around yourself should soften that arm a fraction anyway. Let's take a look at that. To me, it looked a lot better, right? This is you bending the arm. Look how silliness that looks. You know it was more bent. Mm-hmm. I could visually see in real time that it was more bent, but it still looks too straight, bent the shaft different. So you got to come up with like an on the range, like if you really had to bend your arm, right? I can easily touch my shoulder, bending my arm. So that's I would have you do a couple of those. Say, I'm bending my arm so much like Harry Vardon, they played in coach, they couldn't. I want you to turn, right? So you were a little bit this way. So you're going to be a little bit more that way, but still real steady head. I like that. And then while you're turning more around and less tilted, you're going to bend your arms enough so that when your hands are really kind of where left arm parallel would be, you're going to have it right on your shoulder. Gotcha. Just a couple little bend the arm and touch the shoulder. No, just sooner than that. Like sooner in the backswing than that. Bend the hell out of that left arm. Feel like it's the left arm bend that's getting the club to hit you in the shoulder, or bump, not really in the shoulder, but like. So then you go ahead and hit one, and then you say, okay, I'm trying to bend it, I'm trying to bend it, I'm trying to bend it. I'm going to try to bend it and hit it, right? And I'm going to try to turn my left shoulder a little more around and less down. It's good. 93. I was going. That friggin' speed better get up there. It looks like it, right? I used to always tell people, Ernie Els, I say, you see Ernie Els? Yeah. Nobody knows where Ernie Els is now, but I mean, you know, but you're a real golf fan. I think what you need to do, right, is you have to figure out how far, like that looks really across, right? Mm-hmm. So this looks like this, right? It looks like that. But it's actually just because the club's all the way to parallel, right? So that's 4 degrees across, 0 path. It's something you might need to watch because it starts getting more and more across. But I think this is sort of an epidemic in golf right now. People look at this and they go, oh, it's like, 15, 20, 30 degrees across. I got this damn camera up here. That's 4 degrees, right? So just know that when you're looking at it.
For now, it's enough to get away with.
I would pretty much say for you, if the club head looks really close to the arm, probably like perfectly parallel. See how that's like this much away from the arm? Then, right, it's a little that way. And if it's hiding behind your hands, which everybody seems to like so much, it's definitely laid off. So I can always tell with your swing when it's walking up the right tree on this roll right here. So it's still a little spun. It's not the roll so much, not this roll, but the shaft spin, right? So the more Spider-Man. Fred Griffin, who was on the top 100 at the time, he says, yep, this is the new version of the thing that Dr. Mann had. And he goes, you want to hit one? I almost fainted. I get to hit one. So I get up there, man, I got a driver, I haven't made one practice swing, and the best tee shot, just woof. So they size the little model to you, and they're playing it back and playing it back. And I mean, I'm like, I'm perfect, and 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 I'm perfect. And I go right here like this, and he goes, uh-oh. I go, what? He says, well, the model's here, and you're here. And he walked me up against a concrete pillar with like tile on it. And he put my hand and he says, that's the spot right there. And I walked away from the thing, and I looked at the target that I just hit the best shot of my life at on purpose. And I went. And on the second one, I went, if I was Spider-Man, the web would come right out on the target. And I mean like Spider-Man left hand. Like you can Google it, right? So that's what we're looking for. This is fine, Tiger Woods in 2000. This would be preferable. And when you feel like you're a little this way, you've hit so many balls that did that, to go. Mm-hmm. It's a common theme. So I don't think it's one of those things, Jude, that you could, you know how to pose it. Mm. That's it right there. That would be wonderful, and this is probably too much. Mm. But at the end of the day, I'd rather we come up with something that makes that happen than you standing there in the middle of a shot, in the middle of a tournament, and trying to hey, I'm going to manipulate this crazy position here. I like the hip. So you did the pose. It was kind of like this, and I'm going top of that leg is moving too much, and then when you swung, it was much better. So I would say for sure with the driver that this booty slide thing, right? So this is kind of where you showed up, right? And then with the irons, we said, okay, we're gonna, right? I think with the driver, you don't try to turn at all. You don't try to turn. You just don't let this slide. And then just do your arms and let your arms take your body wherever. Slightly softer arms. It was better than the last one. I think the last thing in the world you want to do with the driver is try to turn. Just bump, because you're doing your foot pop. Bump, put the leg back. Might feel like half inch of movement, real stable. I don't know if you have to do this so much with the driver if you don't try to turn, and let the hands and arms, the slightly softer hands and arms, get to the top and pull pull your chest the rest of the way around. Otherwise, you're going to swing 10 degrees inside out. And by the way, that was negative 1.8. So that's a good little cut path right there. Nicklaus, babes, Jack Nicklaus. One day, you're going to get all of this horsepower to the club head, and that club head speed is going to jump off the friggin' scale. You know, because it looks like, I mean, that's not bad now. 116.6, 176 ball speed, potentially legal driver, good spin, 107 foot, 302 carry, 325. You know, you wouldn't be the shortest hitter in every group, just on the regular tour. You have a strategy for drawing it if you have to, because I mean, this sucker right here. This Monterey is going to go straight, man. Right? This is a straight ball pattern, you know, for as long as it is. Look at that. That's good. Extra good, right? Speaking of Spider-Man left hand. So, I mean, that's going to do that. And it might, right? That was what? 4 millimeters toward the toe, and it cut 14 feet. So if that's 2 millimeters toward the heel, it cuts 37 feet, which is still fine because you think it's cutting. But okay, let's say you wanted to turn it. What have you been doing to do that?
Trying, like in the transition, more of that. That's
so I think now that you have the softer arms and the leg not sliding, now I switch, I think, to the driver mode, or the iron mode that we talked about. So it's going to be foot pop, slide, but then turning the rib cage more around itself and not tilt it so much. And then just, I wouldn't back in much. I would just say, I'm going to just hold the turn for a half a count. Because I think if you back in, you'll get too far in front of it. That's my,
you get here and then
that's my guess, yeah. Yep. Turn the ribs, keep the ribs turned, throw the arms off the ribs, basically. I'll show again. So 1.2 and off the toe, right? So it's not a bunch. Do it again. I kind of like it. I want to see it again. So here's the ribs, right, of the draw, right? Woof, right? It's not that you're backing in, but you're just holding this and getting it off. That's it. And do not stand there, do all of that stuff and go, and draw too. No. You just got to swing and hope it draws. The good thing about this is no matter where it goes, it's inside the building. And I mean, if you think you need to turn it more than that, you don't, right? You really don't. So you can almost set your watch to. So here's the important part about that, right? So that face, right? So this is the thing about TrackMan people I don't think know. So it says, okay, it says 0-2 left path, 0-2 left face. How did the ball draw if they were both 0? Because when the club hit the ball, the face was probably 1.5 closed. So 0 with a 1.5, is going to go that way. But then since you hit it 8 millimeters toward the toe, in the middle where it's giving you, the middle was 0, right? But it was a 0, and I think the reason I'm making a point of this is I think what you got to realize is if you just use it sparingly, which I think you will, for score, right? You're not playing match play or 4-ball. You're gonna I'm gonna do it on 11, but you don't have to hit that shot on 11. You've hit plenty of fades and hit it on the green too, right? But if you got a 0 path and let's say a 1.5 face, which was probably first touch, that it's gonna start relatively straight. It's going to start, more toward the face than the path, but I'm just saying it ain't starting right and turning left. It's going to start straight-ish. See, launch direction 0-5. So you have to aim right enough, not the stance thing. Actually aim right enough that you say, if I hit a baby push, it's still in play, it's fine. But if it turns over, I get the speed slot or whatever, and it's going to go down there. But I don't think I would try to do this out of a square stance, however close, and think that I'm going to do enough of this stuff to actually swing far enough to the right and have the face close to the path that the ball is going to start to the right. I think that's asking for, when you're
some snaps.
You're a fader by business, right?
That top wasn't too laid off?
No, you're saying across, but you mean laid off. Laid off. Yeah, that's a cross.
It wasn't too far that way, though?
No, definitely not. No. I'm trying to remember the swing now. Yes, definitely not. Rib cage is everything probably, and the arms off the chest early. This is probably a 120 swing if we just eventually all the juice gets out to the club. If you hit it dead in the face and you hit the shot, you're kind of visualizing it's probably going to be no more than a one path. So the face is going to be closed to the path. It's going to start, target line straight. Better swing. So check this out, watch. So if you're a little more closed, your right shoulder is going to be a little further away from the ball. You're not going to be able to reach it. You might even want to
crowd it a little bit.
Yeah, you just sneak in there, stand a little taller, get your foot, just you need something to keep it out of the toe.
Kind of crowd it and then close yourself off.
Yep. Look at that first move there. So basically, this is why you hit those straight balls. So that line is just you right underneath the butt of your club, right? Okay, now remember this now because we're going to look at Mr. Draw here, McElroy here in a second. So look, there's the butt of the club, top of the backswing, like the arms, not too. See over here on the right, looks like a normal person. See that butt of the club come down on an angle, right? Okay, that's every single straight ball hitter that I would try to copy. All right, so now let's watch. Right? That's down the elevator shaft, not carried out. It's a good alternate procedure, right? We have to get the feeling for that. Like this, look at this, like a windshield wiper. Right? The left arm is taking this basketball right here, a JP ball. He could probably come up with a drill for this. Here with a little small bounce ball and go pow, but not all the way down, just enough to, right? Because if it goes straight down here, down the elevator shaft, the butt of the club, and connects to your eventual plane, this is going to be a ton easier. So go to the top, right? Instead of carry, it's going to come down, but not too much more than that. That's pretty much it.
Well, if I feel this, it might be.
No, that's probably not going to be good. You know the pizza is going to fall off of it. So if everybody thinks you need to get like this, the top, that's asinine. Watch the Hall of Fame. Everybody's arms on this angle. If you're making it go down the elevator shaft here, it's going to have some, keep the pizza from falling. Right, so up to the top again. Now put a little unwind in with this. We go further back, further back. Unwind. It's way more that way than normal. Right? So let's go buck 5. It's carrying, but less, right?
Yeah.
But that just shows you how much of that. Yeah, I love that right there. That's it. But the 2-2 path and a 1-1-8 up, that's it. Now you got to do that at full speed. Let's see what happens. I think it's going to feel like if you let go of the club, wouldn't hit your booty, any part of you. Would just, I'm coming down here, letting the club go, and it would hit behind you. Threes you can remember, right? There could be 3 address things, and then you don't have to think about them, right? Okay, so here's the 3. Go ahead. So you're a little closer, right? Right, that's the first thing. You're going to do the closer with your normal stance. Then you're going to adjust your right foot, right? I got that from you, right? And then the third one is draw a booty, right? You kind of, fade booty, draw a booty. Now you can go, okay, so now the swing part is no active turn on my stock little hold shot, right? But a little more active around my self turn on the backswing. Then while I'm keeping this closed, like what we're doing, this elevator shaft thing. Sounds like it should go 500 yards. Here's a practice thing, right? Right? You get your top of the backswing position with the butt of the club, right? Close to the edge of the wall. And your normal swing here would go, right? So you're trying to, what does it feel like to go down the wall a little bit before I do it here? Vic first, babes.
Yes. Retro.
Do your normal backswing, normal top, then walk over there and put the butt of the club. No, put it like, that. So now you go, okay, if I'm going to go down the edge of the wall, definitely not what you normally do. No. Right? I mean, you can just watch you mannerisms. It's just not. Okay, let's see. So show me the pose as if you were on that wall. Do it again. I'm going to line this up with something in the back. All right. Nope. Went off the wall. Yes. Weird, huh?
Because it feels like Feels that,
100%.
it's really
100%. Here's why I'm not so nervous about it, because if it just took the slope of your normal carry on an 8-iron shot and it affected it a little, unintended, maybe good consequence, right? It's going to feel like you have to wait a week. Like, oh, I got a free week here for my club to come down the side of the wall. But again, right, it's not your normal pass. We should check it, right? So get your 8-iron, and we'll try basically, let's just say you had a left pin and you wanted to draw it. How does it work with an 8? Okay, same idea. Going to the top and feeling like down the corner of the wall before you go to the ball because you're trying to draw it in.
Back to regular setup, or that was
Yeah, right. No, right. No, I would do the iron, regular setup, and then just do the go to the top. Yeah, here's your wall. Go to the top. There's your wall. Right. Then go down a little bit, then to the ball and field draw. Do the pose first. Soft arms, turn, keeping the ribs closed, getting the arms to come down because the ribs aren't pulling on them. See, the thing is, if you're holding this thing up here and the ribs start pulling, this baby's going, right? We want that for the straight ball, but not so much for this little draw. But you see, it didn't like it changed it a bunch, but it changed it some. You do one more so we get a path. Whatever you were doing to draw it on purpose with an iron before would probably be better. The point is, working on it a little bit with the driver isn't gonna hurt your iron swing. I would never try to do that with an iron until further notice. All right, get your sand wedge. I said a couple little wedges. So I think with the wedges and the driver, you just go a little, whatever your adjustment is here, right? Mini foot pop. Don't let this top of this femur drift too much, but don't try to turn. I like that okay, 8-iron, 7-iron, 6, you know what I'm saying? And then not with the driver, right? Then just, again, let the arms take it. But I definitely with the wedge, feel like this is just a post and there's gonna be no side-to-side movement. There's no forced or on purpose turn or ribs. Take your hands to where they are, hit a full one and let's see what happens. So look at that. So we got 52, 24, right? How strong it is to the back of your left hand. 54, because your arms are at a different angle. 14. So you gotta pay pretty damn close attention to how you're grabbing that wedge. And you know what the deal is there? This is a thing that I usually see with drivers. With drivers, you got an iron in your hand and you're used to your iron, sitting on the ground a certain way, right? And then grabbing it. And then you get a driver, the driver has got a booty. It sits on the ground like it wants to. And only bad players are like twisting it off of its booty. People are gripping their driver on the booty and their iron's sort of on the booty. But the driver probably definitely on the booty. 3 would too. So that's different. So it might be the same, but sometimes it's like wildly different. Like you'll see way stronger, way weaker, but you got that wedge and it's ground every kind of which way. I'd hold that thing a little open. I wouldn't do all of this checking. I would just 2-3 degrees open, looking when you grip it, then grip it. It's funny that it's going high, right? You would think it'd be the other way around. I would try to get this thumb a little more under, this thumb a little. So yeah, just in case this is just a thing, right? That you don't want any club faces looking like that after you hit all those 8-iron shots with a different club face, right? That feels weaker in your hand. Okay, same shot. Still close to the path, right? But better. You video yourself a lot. Just make sure you're doing that. I'm down here, JP, sports performance expert from Brian Manzella Show, episode 1. 6 years I've been with this cat, right? And he keeps getting bigger, I keep getting smaller.
Yeah.
We talked about it in that episode from my scenario. So what kind of stuff with young guys do you think it's important?
That age group, we're just looking at basic strength training. So, we're trying to stay healthy with all those swings. We're trying to get them to control all that mobility they got, right? We're trying to get them to be able to produce more force. We're trying to get them strong.
And torque.
Right? and strong enough to withstand all those swings,
yes.
Right? All those repetitions. So, 14, 15, 16, we're just kind of laying the groundwork, getting stronger, learning how to do the movement patterns correctly.
Yeah.
Your squats, your deadlifts, lunges,
And he
bench press,
so that's a big
rows,
a big thing. So there was I don't know if you saw the thread.
Uh-huh.
I guess it was Kurt Deneen that
Yeah.
did it in that little viral thread. They were talking about he went up to, because he's covering the tour. He went up to the tour players and goes, okay, now, you look like you lit how much you bench. So how much does he bench?
I don't know where we at.
Probably 170-ish.
Bench press, like a good staple, is if you can get a body weight bench press for 3 reps.
That's a good.
Definitely do. That's
So
a
so
good,
what
solid-
what is happening to the cats that are built like Brooks Koepka when they're his age, and then he's Superman?
Slow and steady, right? Slow and
Right.
steady progress. So, if you put on, let's say you add 20 pounds to your bench press a year, the reality is the more weight he can push, the stronger he is.
Yeah.
The stronger he is, the more force and torque he can create
Yeah.
and withstand.
So speaking of that, so today in his lesson when he gets a driver in his hand, it looks like the horsepower from the last time I saw him, which is just a couple of months ago, is gone, but it's not quite getting to the club head speed yet, like we talked about. It looks like 120 potential if he gets it out to the club.
Yeah, and look, there's obviously the swing side and the efficiency of
Oh,
movement and all that part. My job's building the body and its ability to produce that stuff, and then your job's to help him put that into the context of the swing. The more I raise his ceiling, the more, bigger engine, the more horsepower.
But the
that's gonna
take
be.
home, right? The take home, JP, is in the 5 years you've been working with him, right? You've been overall strength
stronger
and
top to
flexibility
bottom.
and
Yeah.
stability.
Correct.
No fancy just for club head speed
No,
stuff. I
no.
think that's the thing
Yeah.
that folks need to understand is if you just overall, like I had a guy in here yesterday, he's the longest tenured, his name is Guy Wall, he's an attorney. He's the longest tenured Manzella person. He could get it to 97, 8. There's no way if you tested him when he was 50, he's 70. He's in great shape now. He's a low handicapper, but I'm just saying, he's less overall strong than he was, but he could get a lot of it back.
Correct. I mean, I always say as long as you're on this side of the dirt, you can get stronger, right?
There you go.
Even at that age, the modalities are similar. We may modify because of his age.
Sure.
We're going to squat, lunge, we're going to press, we're going to row, we're going to do those things just in a way that his body can take, and we're going to get stronger doing it.
And then the other thing people need to understand is you can be in really good shape for a living and need some technique. We're going to work on that right now. Good job today, buddy.
Thank you.
So how long since you've been here? Like 2 months?
2 or 3 months, I think.
And you haven't got to practice a lot.
Not a lot of
going
swings
on
in
with
that time.
getting people to working out.
Working kids.
But you got a little time coming up, huh?
Yeah, so summer I got much more time to put into working on the swings.
Cool. Well, go ahead and hit this 8-iron right down the line, and we'll take a look at it. I just say overall, right, just a little overly in to get low. We get less in, we get less low. Otherwise, I like it. So the main thing, I was watching you warm up. I got 4 views coming up here, right? Which place in the swing, or maybe at address, but where does it look not like a tour player? This is the spot that jumps off the page. I got people that can't move that look better than you right there. You were like
Yeah,
that.
I know I get that hit.
Yeah,
Everything.
so that's, but
Nah.
again, if you're hitting heel right shots, the last thing athletically that's going to come, you're hitting heel. So
I
you
know
think
that.
that ball's going to go over there, you're not going to tilt more, which would make the ball go further that way, all things being equal. At least
Correct.
you make your swing go further that way. So there's something that's keeping you from doing that. But that's a good way to do it. You look at it and you go, there's the one thing there that absolutely doesn't, they would go, oh no, that dude, he looks like a tour player, but he definitely doesn't swing like one, which is baloney.
Sure.
All right, so go ahead and set up. Let's take a look at this grip. This is a common thing that people do. See how you got 2 fingers there overlapping instead of 1. I think right now, you wouldn't let me do some customized bench press. So
You're right.
you got to put those 2 fingers on the grip. The rest of the grip looks great
Okay.
like from last time.
Okay.
Probably just a little bit straighter back here, so you kind of
Yeah.
whipped around there, right? Then they get behind you that way. And
Okay.
a little higher, so straighter back, then it can get behind you, and then
More up.
and then you can go a little bit more up. That would be the 2 fingers on the club. Do that first part again, without the face being too.
Okay.
So just a
more here.
little
Gotcha.
rotation, but straight back. And I think you can get some of that by just doing it again. just softening this guy up
Okay.
a fraction. There's your little takeaway, a little more lift at the top, hit it. So not as straight back as you think, right? Look at that, watch. It's not as straight back as you think, but a little higher. But this through thing, that's the thing that's making that ball want to do them. So go ahead and set up, take your time, get your 2 fingers on. Take a little impact look. So every time I do the back, you bend the right arm a little. And then since the club would be pulling you this way, right?
Okay.
And you go, no.
Gotcha.
Right, so that's where that's going to come in. The club went here, it's either going to win and pull you over like all the old guys, the guy in Caddyshack, he goes like this. That's a peach, because that's what happens. You can't do this anymore.
Can't counter
right?
that, yeah.
If the club went over here more, it's kind of going like this. If it went over there more, then you would counteract that by staying the way I'm trying to get you to. That's the spot right there.
Okay.
I think we need insurance, and the insurance is going to be pulling these 2 black knuckles here more toward you.
Okay.
This spot, knuckles coming back toward you, so it's more club face at the target right here, and then butt of the club this way.
Okay.
On the way to your regular finish.
Gotcha.
So do a couple with no ball. Just a little half backswing, and just like we were doing. Way over there.
Okay.
My favorite training aid here. I got to make one. It's a Brian tree. Okay, so I'm the trunk and one arm. Right, it's the one dead branch. So if you had to go and you were just trying to see how far can I get that club to go all the way around before I hit the tree. So you would go this way, throw it there, come up this side of me, right? And that's probably as far as you can go.
Yeah.
Your normal swing would run into the trunk.
Gotcha.
So do it a couple times where you just go to that spot. They're going to make a training aid where they get a cutout of me holding my arm like this, and everybody's just going to punch him in the mouth. That's what they're going to do. So if you did that, right, then it's going to go there. So this is all forearm rotation.
Okay.
How far that points over there is just supination. That's
Gotcha.
it. You were going, dribbling it up against the wall. So do a couple of those where you let those forearms crisscross. So you got like spots along the way, right? So the first one, I came up with this idea before anybody had a golf studio. I used to call it the movie screen. So look, here's that same thing we're working on, right? Points at the target more or less. And when it gets here, that's where you start seeing the black in the glove. But watch, I go just a little bit further and I could put the whole back of my left arm, my watch, the back of my left hand, the grip, the shaft, and the face all on an actual movie screen while I was leaning away from it. And then you would point to the right, straight through the movie screen, and then Ben Hogan and Marion on your forearm, ready to hit with a little, if you see TaylorMade right there, keep your tailbone ahead of your neck bone right here. Boom. Through the screen, pulling the knuckles. There's your on the screen.
Okay.
Then out to right field, butt of the club through the screen, and then like a normal finish that you're going. But I would say this, from a practice standpoint, I would go, I do to the movie screen, get my tailbone underneath me, and then just go to not quite pointing to the target. So movie screen, and then not quite, because you're just trying to overdo this.
Gotcha.
And then you can always back off. We can go with Jude. He does this a little too much sometimes, probably because I taught it to him. And he has to modify that and go more what I call Spider-Man left hand.
Okay.
But you're trying to go, hey, look at my hand. I got cheat notes from a 7th grade test. Still the ink is invisible. Just that shot. Just that hard, that far to that spot. Hold it, and I'm going to come adjust. That's expert teaching right there. Straight off shank. And this is like, I'm giving you extra credit stuff right there. Okay, you do it again, no ball. And basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to push this way, kind of butt cheek that way. And while you're doing that, you're pulling the rib cage back.
Gotcha.
From impact through here, like the 45 degrees, make sure this is pointing
back
up your left arm. Now it would be on the screen, through the screen, on the screen. All right, so we're going to go to on the screen. Okay, you ready? Well, you actually start from address and make the backswing. Now what I'm doing is I'm giving it a little extra hip turn to transition. You got to hit the ground. Your job to hit the ground.
Hit the ground.
Let me tell you, this is golf teaching right here. do this on a June day at the back of English Turns driving range. You'll find out whether you really like this or not. The number one sensation that you're trying to create is this corkscrew kind of palm up, the knuckles up, rotate, you're sticking your thumb in the.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you're trying to do that on the ball like you're trying to low smash draw it.
Gotcha.
It's better, right? Looks a little better, right? It's not McElroy yet, but it's getting there.
Gotcha.
Now watch the down the lines. So I'm doing a couple things here, just so you know. I had your belt loop, right? And I'm not just doing this action. I'm pulling you around more on the shift. A little McElroy, Jack Nicklaus back in, add hip turn on the transition, and now get your tailbone under and do that, right? But watch you do really good with a little help from the shrinking since episode 1, shrinking Italian stallion. All right, so there's your before. It's much lower, right? But the club face could go more. If somebody can't pick the real golfer out of those two, they need to go like pickleball, straight to pickleball. All right, let's see if we can do that. And then a couple times and hit a good shot. Because I think the rest of it, this is easy, right? This, just watch yourself in the mirror, right? And go, okay, I want it to be, look, when it gets to parallel, like people miss this one all the time, okay? When the club is parallel to the ground the first time, it's also parallel to the target, but it could be out here, parallel and parallel.
Yeah.
It could be here, it can be here. For certain people that I'm fudging toward draw, like you, cut your toe box off right there, a hair higher at the top, show some more underarm, and that's it.
Gotcha.
And then downswing wise, right? On all swings, I think a little bit of this wouldn't kill you, right? You get on the wall right here, feel your booty on the wall, go to the top, left cheek ain't on the wall, right cheek's on the wall. Like so much that I'm almost on my hip now, and I got my arm here. So keep my arm on the screen, shift to the left, no left butt cheek on the wall yet. Now when I get in a good position to do a squat, right, with this leg, now I can square that up and do a little semi to the left squat position. And then through, so if you do the action of the hips correctly, the heel will come forward. If you do the hips wrong, the heel will go backwards like this. And then you know what to do with the hand. All the way to the top. Come down halfway and stop. So you got a little back in. And here's where all of this has to be more that way.
Okay.
And then corkscrewing this thing to black knuckles up. And really, I'm happy with just the right there. So not a full backswing this time, and just to that spot.
More there.
Yep. Tailbone, right? Neck bone. Tailbone's closer to the target than the neck bone. So that's 79 miles an hour, right? Let's go like 65 miles an hour. Swing your hips around this way just a fraction. There you go. Okay, so this is a good example, right? So like I said in the evaluation part, right? What part didn't look right? The through body. Why? Because the ball's going right and half shanking. But if you did the arms and hands correct to what I'm telling you, that's where it goes. And then I think this is how a lot of little kids, they get good at golf. They just go, oh yeah, I finally can hook it. And they try to start the ball further right. And they wind up doing the hips and the tilt correctly. So go to halfway back. That's all you need. A little further. Coming down. Right, let's see it. Attempted 65 mile an hour shot. Turn the hips around a little bit. There you go. That's way better now. You're doing everything I told you to do with the hands and arms, except the thing I omitted on purpose, right? If I tell this to anybody first, you already had some mannerisms that I didn't like trying to do this. That was never going to work until you did the other two things.
Gotcha.
Which is basically the swivel and the tilt, right? Okay. So there's the two things that we put in. Now, if you swivel and tilt pretty good, at least a B. I mean, I'm against McElroy's an A+, right? If you watch this shot right here, I'm going to put my little famous microwave oven box right in the middle of your arch. We want, which is just past impact, right? with an iron. We want the whole club up against that box.
Yeah.
That's not it, right?
Gotcha.
The club is in the box. All things being equal, it should go left.
Yes.
It's not like you never heard that before because you were doing all kinds. You would when I was on the ground behind you, you were posing all that stuff. But that's it. You go, okay, I got time to hit a couple of balls. I'm gonna do my right. I'm gonna do that. You can work on this with a stick.
Yeah.
I would take the backswing stuff and not put it in the ball hitting.
Gotcha.
If you got a
I
chance to hit
can do
a bucket
that,
of balls, you do that stuff in between clients. You got mirrors everywhere, every place you work. So now you're making the knuckles down, right? Turn TaylorMade away from you. Corkscrew the toe in the ground right here. Tilt, swivel, wedding ring up, movie screen, and left. Oh shit, I got to get my hands look like they're left of my left foot, but you can see they're not really that. If I get right here, it's kind of an illusion if you right eye dominant. It looks way up there.
This way than
but look at it, it's just a little, and now it would hit the box.
Gotcha.
All right, so we try one where the box is there. In your mind, you're going, the reason I can work on hitting the box is because I did this here, I did this here, I did that there, and I did that and I did all of that. That gives me the opportunity to throw in the box just for the visual. There's the box. Not quite that far forward, but you get the idea. No matter what, I want to see some movie screen knuckles at the end. Just enough, right? So that now you can almost see probably where those shots came from.
Yeah.
Over handle dragging, right?
Yeah.
So if I did that in practice, that sound, right? It's unmistakable, almost a shank, kind of a shank. You say, screw it, I'm gonna
just go back to
I'm gonna just do my deal, go ahead and do one way. You don't even try to think about your hands forward. Now, the other way, there's other ways to get the hands forward enough so the ball doesn't go straight left when you swivel. You do the drill off of grass, put the friggin' ball in a divot and hit the next one out of a divot. If you don't lean it a little, you're not gonna hit the ball semi-flush out of the divot. But this is just a less than full speed, less than full swing, swivel special, movie screen finish. If it goes left, God bless it. And I call this chicken soup for the teacher because I know you probably didn't chicken wing it. We had better things to do with the chicken. Yeah, that was a good swivel. And then you just
keep working through
keep
that.
working.
Gotcha.
Good job, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Look, I'm gonna come soon now.
Nice.
Down
I'm
5.
ready. I'm ready
40
for you.
more to go.
There you go.
Good job.
All right.
We're at my home golf course, English Turn Golf and Country Club, Jack Nicklaus Design, with my best buddy, Mike Pizzatola, the head pro. Mike, you wasn't here when they opened the course, were you?
No, sir.
It was a thing now, okay? My dear friend Don Villavasso, he couldn't wait. There was a nice little party that the club threw for everybody, and there were about 300 people, and they gathered right here to watch Jack Nicklaus play 18 holes. Here's the first hole, right? It's great, par 4, especially from all the way back here. Little dog leg right. Nicklaus, famously, his so-called stock shot is a little left to right shot. So what he did was he aimed at this left fairway trap, the only fairway trap on the hole. He did his little Jack Nicklaus right here, waggle, little chin move, payal, and instead of the ball starting at the left edge of the bunker and cutting toward the middle of the fairway, it started at the man in the blue right there, 15 yards left of the right edge of the bunker, and high pull hooked over the moat that goes all the way around this golf course onto the land where there's houses now, but there was no houses then.
Right.
And it wasn't like a gasp because I really think, Mike, that they thought it was a put on. He's just joking, right? He just said, no, he was serious as a heart attack. So they put him in a cart. It wasn't out of bounds then. They made it out of bounds because of that shot. He drove around. They went over there. He aimed at the green. He got a yardage some kind of way. He hit it right over the left side. Green pin was right about where it is in the front left. Just over the green, easy chip shot, easy putt, par. When TrackMan came out, he said, what is that thing? And they said, it's TrackMan. What does it do? Measures the club and the ball. Too bad we don't have you in your prime. Well, that Jack didn't want to hear that, 16 years ago. He still could probably do something. So he said, give me a ball here. So he hit one, he didn't like it. Then he hit one and he said, whatever that said I did, that's what I did in my prime. And unless I've got the story wrong, it was 2 degrees outside in, so 2 degrees to the left of the target with the face a degree or 2 open to the target. If Mike or I, trying to play this shot right here, hit that shot, it would start a little to the right of the bunker because it starts closer to the face and cut right in the middle of the fairway. It didn't happen. So, pro, this is your golf course. You should be able to play this shot right here, even though you're
try.
normally a right to left player.
Correct, but I'll try.
All right, so here we go. We got TrackMan running. Just absolutely perfect if the ball started a fraction further right, which it didn't. So this is a good one to look at, Mike, right? You hit that ball really good, right? Just slightly left.
Yep.
Didn't hit that shot. Just imagine what Nicklaus had to do right there. 3.4 left of the target, the path of the club head, with the face about the same. So it was a straight pull. It only went 10 yards left of the target. You know, Dustin Johnson, the Rhodes Scholar, Dustin Johnson, he's actually a smart guy. Everybody thinks, you know, because he sounds, you know, hey, how you doing? He made a great comment out of the mouths of babes about hitting fades. He said, you know the most important thing to hitting a fade? Make sure you fade it. It's a true quote. So how do you make sure you fade it, and what did Nicklaus not do? So Nicklaus famously, to me, made a draw backswing and then swung down, and the face was open because he gripped the face open. But still, it's so easy for the club to get to the ball before your body gets to the spot it needs to be in to fade it. Because if you want to apply a torque about the shaft that would keep the face from over closing, you can see what I would do. I would turn my body like this. So I would aim and go here, make my Nicklaus backswing, and just cut it off of that bunker. So show us how to do it. Get that body a little bit more open. I know you're a drawer.
Yeah.
And that one was a perfect 1 yard draw. Look, we're gonna try to get you at impact right there. You can do that. You're not going ooh, ow, or anything like that.
Okay.
So, all right, here we go. Little extra unwind. And if Nicklaus could have hit 2 balls, here it is. And it cut a little extra, but watch this. So the path went a little bit to the left and the face was open to the path. So it's one of those things, folks. I think Nicklaus violated his own rule in this shot. Don't aim at trouble and then think you're gonna move the ball away from the trouble, right? Aim down the left side of the fairway. Now I guarantee if we asked Mr. Nicklaus, he would say, I would never aim at that bunker. I'm just telling you, I was standing behind him. And at that point in time, I had taught golf for a little while. So I knew where he was aiming. Dustin Johnson's right. If you're playing a fade, especially one where it goes the opposite way, the famous double cross, you get your body in an impact-like position.
Make sure you fade it.
Let's see. Let me see if I can pull one off here. I remember about the first 10 times I played this golf course with members, trying to impress them, the new teacher, you know. I was cutting it back then, and I was aiming over at that bunker. I hit it in the water a few times. I never hit it on the other side right here. So here I am. Tell me how my aim looks here, trying to aim at that left edge of the bunker.
Yeah, you're right at the left edge.
Right at the left edge. I feel right of that. You got to trust your aim.
Yep.
And now I'm just going to a little more down and left than I would normally swing if I wanted to draw it. Sort of a Nicklaus backswing right there.
There you go.
And a little cut. So numbers, slight toe hit, 3 left path, face open to the path. If you don't hit it ridiculously on the toe, I hit it a little toward the toe, it's gonna fade, and you can play from maybe the far left side of a fairway back toward the middle.
Yeah, good job,
Good shot, buddy.
Thank you, you too.
One of the greatest things that ever happened in the history of the New Orleans Tour event that was first contested at City Park on the old #1 course, then Lakewood right across the bridge right from here at English Turn, then for English Turn for many years, and now at TPC of Louisiana, was when my dear buddy and longtime on and off student David Toms won here in front of basically a very much home crowd. Back here on the 11th hole, he hit a really good shot out of some high rough, made eagle, and then it was on. Everybody was chanting, Tigers, 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 because, well, he's an LSU Tiger. He gets to this last hole, and as the story goes, there was a holdup, because this was at one point the hardest hole on the PGA Tour. The course played pretty easy this particular year. Phil Mickelson was one behind David and went and sat behind him while he was on the tee waiting to hit, crossed his legs, little gamesmanship, babe. Nothing wrong with that. It's not illegal to sit behind your competitor. David hit a really good tee shot. Then he hit his second shot. I think basically the pin was a little further over and he was a little further over, but basically this length putt. I've caddied for David quite a few times over the years, and of course his caddy, Scotty Nizer, that he's been with on all his victories and just a Hall of Fame career, in my opinion. Scotty was telling me the story. He was just about to walk up to David and go, just mosey this one down there, 2-putt, let's get out of here, because the odds are that Mickelson is not gonna birdie this hole. But David is not wired like a normal person. That's why he's a Hall of Famer. He said, hey, Scotty, what do you think would happen if these people who were whipped into some kind of frenzy, Billy Ray Brown was the on-course reporter, walks up to David and Scotty as they're walking to the green and shows him his arms and all of it. He's hairy like me, Billy Ray, and all his hair was sticking straight up. It was electric. And David knew, boy, you know, if it's electric, it's gonna be like the top's gonna blow off of the place if I make this putt. So this is a pretty severe right to left putt. So what I like to do on severe breaks is I like to walk up close to the hole, you know, along the putt I'm gonna hit, and envision where is the pretty close to straight in downhill putt. To me, from this tee right here, more or less to the hole. Might break a little to the left right here, so I'm gonna move this over just a fraction. This seems like this is, you know, kind of a severe aim, but that's not where I'm aiming. I'm just looking at this as, this is sort of like the interstate, a straight run on the interstate, and I'm coming in on the entrance to the interstate. And what I need to do is I need to putt this ball to get on the interstate, so it's gonna probably break a decent amount getting to the interstate. Where do I want to enter the interstate so then it can run downhill to the hole? And to me, no less than halfway between that tee, which is 15, 16, 17 feet to the right. I'm aiming right there. Do my best David Towns putting stroke. Hey, Scotty, what do you think these people would do if I made it? Pretty good putt, right? So just a little bit less break than that, but if you're trying a 2-putt, and if you get lucky, make it. But just for David here, let's see if I can give it a little better run. That's too bad, but the check is already in the bank, and he was the winner, and one of the best sporting events in New Orleans history. The people went crazy for a good 5 minutes.